Hi guys, this is Tiffany with Teacher Set Free. I want to come on today to show you what I decided to do for my planner this year. As you can see, the cover here is Gather on Homeschool. I actually had purchased the digital planner from them last year, and it worked okay, but for the needs of my students, especially because I have a high schooler, I decided to modify it a little bit and make it my own. So I'm going to do a quick flip through as to what I've done here. As you can see, we've got the cover of the Gather on Homeschool. I actually used Adobe to be able to go on and add this portion here where it says 2022-2023 school year, Rouse family. I just want to make it a little personalized, especially because this is going to be my main record keeping book. So if I'm like at a co-op or if we happen to be schooling somewhere other than the house, I want to be able to have this just in case if it was to get lost or whatever. So anyhow, I use the ProClick binding system to be able to do the binding here. And then I actually bought 35mm spiral coils that I'm using here to be able to bind it because of how thick it is. And I can show you just, actually how thick it is. So I needed to have something a little bit bigger than just the ProClick spines. And I also use these clear page protectors. I got these off of Amazon. I have that, and then if you look on the back, I have this plastic cover as well. These work really well. I feel like that they work better than if the pages are just laminated. So let's go ahead and tackle in. You can see I actually added in, I got these little plastic tab dividers from Meyer, and they work really well because they're nice and thin, but I also have pockets so that I can store papers and whatnot into it, so that I have that extra storage. Like if we're working on like sight words or if we're working on spelling lists or all that, I can kind of just move it in and out versus having to just bind it in, because I don't want to have to put something in, pull something out, and rebind. So anyhow, so we have the cover here. If we go in, this is actually, I've used the Pam Barnhill, the Plan Your Year on Autopilot, I think is what it's called, to be able to like create our homeschool vision. And then our school calendar that I have here, I again use just Adobe to be able to create this. And then I also run a co-op, so I have my co-op schedules in here as well. And then here's our daily plan. Kind of turn it this way, kind of showing like our scheduling. We do a rough routine. We do not do like set times. And you can see I have some times listed here, but this is, I have 3 different age groups. So like I have a upcoming kindergartner, a 3rd, 4th grader, and then a high schooler. So as you can see, like I have it kind of divided out, showing what I'm going to be doing with whom. And then here's my letter of intent. We have to submit our letter of intent every year, so I always put it into my binder so that I have it. And then of course here's the copy for me to be able to send to my district, and you can see I have when I'm supposed to send it, so I have that reminder. So then I move into, I actually decided to do a file for each of my kids so that I have their documentation and whatnot that I need. So again, I have it all in one. Last year I actually had 2 separate planners, one for my younger kids and then one for my oldest, and honestly it just didn't work. So I decided to streamline a little bit this year. So this one, of course, I have student goals for my youngest, and then I had taken the book Home Learning Year by Year. I use that as a rough guideline. I never like religiously stick with it. But I typed up the main ones like the mathematics and the language arts, starting with kindergarten, going all the way through 3rd, so that I can kind of check off. We are required here in Kentucky to have grade reports. So this kind of acts as a guide for me as well to be able to help with those grade reports. So I have those pages that's in here. Those are my language arts and my math checklist that I have. And that's also something that like at the end of the year, I could pull them out and then move them to the next one. I actually, for the language arts and math program that I'm using, I have my scope and sequence for my youngest where I can actually list in the dates. Again, this is kind of just my documentation that I have here, but it also gives me a guide as to what I'm going to be doing. And then her kindergarten assessments that I'll be doing throughout the year. Just go ahead and put those in. And then in the front, back here, behind my letter of intent, I actually have a copy of that kindergarten assessment so that I can have it to be able to pull out with her. Moving on to my son, kind of the same thing, student goals. I have those checklists that I just showed you with my daughter. I do have, like, this actually can act as my grade report because it is showing with the curriculum that we're using for language arts. It has like what skills we're working on. It literally says skill mastered or needs experience. So I literally can check that off and then grade reports are done. It's one of the things that I love about this particular curriculum that I'm using. So I have that, and that's just for language arts that he has there. Going to go through that. I have my spelling word checklist so that again I can make notes as to like what words we're working on, what words he might have missed or whatnot, and what we need to practice more. So I have all those right here for spelling tests and spelling practice, I should say. This is my math scope and sequence. So again, I can kind of see what we're going to be working on, and I'm planning to use a highlighter. And as we go through these, like put a big M or P for progressing, M for mastered, so that I again know what it is that we're already working on and what we need to be moving forward with. And again, that can kind of act as to help me with my grade reports. Okay, my oldest, then I have her student goals here. She's high schooler, so, and again, I know in Kentucky we set our own graduation requirements, but a lot of the colleges here want to see something similar to the Kentucky graduation requirements that they have for the state. So I actually have a copy of that printed. I do not follow this religiously. Again, it's more of a guideline so that I have an idea of what the public schools are doing so that I can kind of give an idea of what colleges are looking for when we're working on that. And then this here is actually going to be, you know, I have all the subjects up at the top, and then I'll be recording what assignments we're doing, the dates that we've completed them, and then actually add in the grades. Again, this can act as her grade report, so that I don't have to do something extra, which is fantastic. So I have this, one set of these actually for each of the subjects we're working on. So we got U.S. history, we've got, sorry, this one's a little bit longer. We have like Spanish 1, and I actually have these in order that we're going to be completing them throughout the day, so it makes the record keeping a little bit easier. And then I actually move into my planner itself. So we are required in Kentucky to have 170 days or 1,062 hours. So this is actually my attendance sheet that I use. I just created this on Excel, and all I do on here, if you look here, it's got the number of days, or the days numbered, and then I just include the date underneath it. And at the very top, I put each day equals 6.25 hours so that we can meet our hours requirement as well. So just slide, and I will be moving that from month to month to make it easier. So now we're getting into the heart of like the Gather Around Homeschool Planner. So this is actually books to read. I'll either, most likely with this, I will be recording what books we read, so that acts as a reading log there. And then I have like my unit planner pages, my notes pages, any supplies, any fun stuff that I have planned for that. And then of course our calendar that comes out here, so I can start marking in what we're doing there. Now the next pages I created on my own because I always find that the boxes are just too darn small in a lot of these planners. So I actually created this for myself, where we can put like if we have any events or things going along the top, what week we're in, what the dates are, and then I have it for all 3 of my children. So it's literally just check off list. I already have the bulk of what we're using, and then I can just record in what lessons we're doing versus me having to write everything out. Over here on the side, I can also include the dates, but what number date we're on. So like I can kind of keep track of, are we on day number 50? Are we on day number 25? Do we need to speed up, slow down, whatever, to be able to meet our attendance requirements? So, and you can see I have co-op here because that is what I teach on Wednesdays. And then I've got my Thursday and Friday, and then some blank notes down here. You know, and I do this for each of the months. So I actually have this, our school year technically can run from July 1st to June 30th. So I have in each of these so that I can maintain the records that we need. But I have that for each of these months. Like I said, I have each of these tab dividers in here. And what I like about the pockets too is like if I'm planning out some books or videos or whatever for that, I can either record it in the very beginning, or I can also just put some sticky notes on here and attach those as well. So like, okay, so for the month of August, say that we're working on plants and animal, or I'm sorry, like a plant unit, then I can go ahead and plan it out using sticky notes on here so that I don't have to plan ahead of time. I do reverse planning so that I'm not having to like spend every one of my Sundays planning out what we're going to do. I actually can just put sticky notes on here as I see fit for whatever units we're working on. So like I said, I do this for every single month, and that just takes us all the way to the end. But this is the planner that I think is going to be better meet our needs this year. Just because I'm trying to shorten the amount of time that I'm doing for record keeping, but still maintaining the regulations that we need to meet. So I hope this has been helpful for you to see like kind of how I've modified this and how I'm making it work for our family. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you soon.